like there's something I'm forgetting. Something important that comes like every year. What could it be? Oh, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, and you know who you are. Hey guys, it's Erica from America, your favorite flight attendant, and today I'm switching things up just a little bit. Instead of the usual travel video, I am doing another America Was Already Great episode. And before I say any more into that, I'm just going to jump into what I recorded the other day, and hopefully you guys like it. I'll see you again at the end. And now it's time for another episode of America Was Already Great. For those of you not familiar with this little mini series, this is the part where I try to remind my country, the people from my country, that there are wonderful things about this country that we seem to have forgotten about. It's kind of crazy as a flight attendant. I travel to the 48 mainland states. I don't know, contiguous states, just not Alaska and Hawaii. I've flown with everybody from every state, and I've flown with people from all over the world. I get a very different perspective of politics from up in the air. It breaks my heart to see the division that has happened since this administration has come into office. I've never seen such destruction so quickly in this country in my entire life. I never cared about politics until now. Before, politics never really affected me, and now it's affecting all of us. So I created this series because I'm hoping to bring people back together, to remind them of the wonderful things that are in this country. And eventually, this series will grow to include other countries and other cultures because you can find pretty much every culture in the world somewhere in one of our 50 states. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But that is not what I'm here to talk about today. Instead, I want to talk about the things that we've forgotten. And one of those things that we have forgotten about is Mother's Day. What? Mother's Day? Are you out of your mind? Who forgets Mother's Day is the second Sunday of every May, every year, and rose sales jumps, and the breakfast places are absolutely insane. We don't forget Mother's Day. Actually, what I mean is we have forgotten about how Mother's Day got started. And believe it or not, it got started for a political reason, but then it mutated and it changed and it became something else. And the corporation stepped in, and now it's just another money making Hallmark holiday, right? Apparently, the official founder of Mother's Day, by the time she passed away, she did not like what Mother's Day had become. And today, I am going to remind you guys what Mother's Day is because Mother's Day started here in America and has spread to at least 40 countries around the world. But I want to talk about it in a different way. I'm going to bring together some of the research and I'm going to tell you the story of Mother's Day. Why? Because America was already great and it started here and we need a reminder sometimes. So let's start with the official founder of Mother's Day. It is credited to this woman, Anna Jarvis. And this is a photo of her around 1909, which was about a year after the first official Mother's Day celebration. Everybody credits her with creating Mother's Day, but that's not actually the official start of Mother's Day. The official start of Mother's Day started with her mother. So here is a little bit from the almanac. It says who invented Mother's Day, and supposedly in 1887, Mary Tals Sassine, a teacher, led her class in what is the first known observance of a Mother's Day kind of celebration, just honoring mothers. She published a pamphlet about her vision for the special day to share with others, traveled across the country to educational gatherings to promote the observance as a national holiday, primarily in public schools, with a suggested date of April 20th, which was her mother's birthday. Schools in several states adopted the idea, and then Mary died in 1906 before her dream of it becoming a national holiday was realized. Now, in 1926, the Kentucky legislature passed a resolution acclaiming Mary as the originator of the celebration of Mother's Day. However, that's not really the case either. So here is actually Anna Jarvis again, and this is her mother, Anne Maria Reeves Jarvis. Anne Maria Reeves Jarvis was actually more the creator of Mother's Day than the other one, but she did it in a different way. She wasn't doing it to honor mothers. She was doing it to bring mothers together. Okay, so imagine the year is 1858 and she's living in Virginia. She's pregnant with her sixth child and she's already lost a couple of children to diseases and things that were happening back then in Virginia back in 1858. Now, the crazy thing is her brother-in-law was actually a physician and she ended up, I believe, having 12 children. Most of them died, only 4 survived. So Anne Jarvis's goal was to help mothers save their children because she kept losing her own children. And at the same time, she's living in Virginia and the Civil War is ramping up. So tensions are growing, just like they are today. Like things are starting to get crazy. She was a lifelong activist who, in the mid 1800s, organized Mother's Day work clubs in West Virginia to combat unsanitary living conditions. What she was concerned about was the high infant mortality rate, especially pervasive in Appalachia, and wanted to educate and help mothers who needed it the most. Now, during the Civil War, what she also organized were women's brigades encouraging women to help without regard for which side their men had chosen. After the war, she proposed a Mother's Friendship Day to promote peace between former Union and Confederate families. Now, Julia Ward Howe was a famous poet and reformer, also a friend of Anna Jarvis, and during the Civil War, she volunteered for the U.S. Sanitary Commission, helping to provide hygienic environments for hospitals and to ensure sanitary conditions during the care of sick and wounded soldiers. So these two women were working together, basically trying to create what's right there on the screen. You can see a Mother's Day for Peace, and is dedicated to the celebration of peace and the eradication of the war. So basically, they worked together through the war to make conditions more sanitary, not only for women to have safer births and to help the babies get past infancy, but she was trying to encourage mothers on both sides of the line to come together and protect their husbands and sons who were dying in the war. Also, they started actually doing services, medical services for fallen soldiers on both sides of the line. So she was helping both Union and Confederate soldiers throughout the war. And she was doing this by trying to bring all of the mothers together to do this. So her official Mother's Day was to show that mothers could make change in the world because of how everybody viewed mothers at the time. She believed that it was mothers that were going to actually stop the war, were going to bring peace. And that's what she did in her lifetime, trying to bring that together by creating these Mother's Day work clubs. So here is her Wikipedia page, Anna Jarvis. She was listed as a social activist and community organizer during the American Civil War era. She's recognized as the mother who inspired Mother's Day and as a founder of Mother's Day movements, while it was her daughter who actually made Mother's Day come to pass. As you can see from here, she was born in Culpeper, Virginia in 1832, and she moved to Philippi with her family when her father, a Methodist minister, was transferred to a church in that town. And then she married Granville Jarvis, the son of a Baptist minister who became a successful merchant in nearby Taylor County. And then in 1852, they moved to Webster. Here you can see Jarvis bore between 11 and 13 children over the course of 17 years. And of these children, only 4 survived to adulthood. So the others died of diseases such as measles, typhoid fever, and diphtheria, epidemics of which were common in Appalachian communities in Taylor County. And these losses inspired Jarvis to take action to help a community combat childhood diseases and unsanitary conditions. So basically, she saw a need. And here it is right here in 1858, while pregnant with her 6th child. Remember, she only kept 4. So a couple of them she'd already lost. Jarvis began Mother's Day work clubs in the towns of Grafton, Prunytown, Philippi, Fetterman, and Webster. So she started these Mother's Day work clubs in multiple towns to improve the health and sanitary conditions. Now, during the war, a sentiment in Western Virginia was sharply divided between North and South. In 1863, this culminated when the western part of the state broke away from Virginia and formed the new state of West Virginia, which was loyal to the Union. Western Virginia, which she was part of, became the location of some of the first conflicts of the Civil War. And Jarvis's Mother's Day work clubs altered the mission to meet the changing demands brought about by war. Ann Jarvis urged the clubs to declare neutrality and to provide aid to both Confederate and Union soldiers. Jarvis illustrated her resolve to remain neutral and aid both sides by refusing to support a proposed division of the Methodist Church into a northern and southern branch. So, additionally, she reportedly offered a lone prayer for Thornsbury Bailey Brown, the first Union soldier killed by a Confederate in the area, when others refused. Under her guidance, the clubs fed and clothed soldiers from both sides who were stationed in the area. When typhoid fever and measles broke out in the military camps, Jarvis and her club members nursed the suffering soldiers from both sides at the request of a commander. In order to keep the community together, her efforts continued after the Civil War. After the fighting concluded, public officials seeking ways to eliminate post-war strife called on Jarvis to help. She and her club of members planned a Mother's Friendship Day for soldiers from both sides and their families at the Taylor County Courthouse in Pruntytown, to help the healing process. Despite threats of violence, Jarvis successfully staged the event in 1868. She shared with the veterans a message of unity and reconciliation. Bands played Dixie and the Star Spangled Banner, and the event ended with everyone, North and South, joining to sing Old Lang Syne. This effective and emotional event reduced many to tears, and it showed the community that old animosities were destructive and must end. Can you see why I kind of felt like maybe I should talk about this today? I mean, what was happening when she was coming up with Mother's Day stuff is very much like what's happening today. We've got this division in the country, and we need to remember that we're all human beings in the end. We need to stop hating on each other. Throughout her life, Jarvis strove to honor and help mothers. Her daughter Anna, who's credited with creating Mother's Day, recalled her praying for someone to start a day to memorialize and honor mothers during a Sunday school lesson in 1876. On the first anniversary of Jarvis's death, Anna met with friends and announced plans for a memorial service remembering her mother for the next year. In May 1907, a private service was held in honor of Jarvis. Now, just as a reminder, Anna Jarvis died in 1905. So basically, on the first anniversary in 1906, Anna is meeting with friends and announced plans for a memorial service a year after her mother passed, remembering her mother for the next year. And then in May 1907, a private service was held in honor of Jarvis. So Anna was like really missing her mother. I don't know if you've had anyone that passed. My father passed away, and we didn't really do a memorial service the following year. We had a pretty amazing funeral for him. There were a lot of people there. We didn't do a second memorial service for him. I don't know if his friends did, but she did. Probably because Ann Jarvis had such an impact on her community. In May 1907, a private service was held in honor. The following year, in 1908, Anna organized the first official observance of Mother's Day, coming near the anniversary of her mother's death. Andrews Methodist Church held the first public service on the morning of May 10th, 1908. And I think that's pretty poetic because this year, Mother's Day falls on May 10th while I'm doing this. Anna did not attend the service, but sent a donation of 500 white carnations for all of those in attendance. In the afternoon, 15,000 people attended another service that Anna organized in Philadelphia, held at the Wanamaker Store Auditorium. So this is 1908. In the years following the initial ceremonies, Anna's new holiday gained recognition in many states and spread to a number of foreign countries. Anna also embarked on a mission to make Mother's Day an officially recognized holiday in the United States. It says she succeeded when, in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed a congressional resolution officially making the second Sunday in May the National Mother's Day and calling for Americans to recognize it by displaying the flag. So basically, Mother's Day got started on the day Anna's mother had passed away, and she wanted to do a Sunday church service for it. This was 1908. It took her 3 years to decide to go to Congress and ask for them to make it an official holiday. And Congress officially said, no. If we celebrate mothers, we're going to have to celebrate mother-in-laws, and we don't want to do that. Doesn't that just sound like so many of our current congressmen would say something stupid like that? But they denied it, and it took her 3 years to get it done in 1914. So that's how Mother's Day came about. Now, here is the interesting thing. I found this out when I was in Korea. Sounds crazy, right? So Mother's Day is on different days in different countries. And the first time and only time that I've been to South Korea, I was there for 3 weeks. And at one point, I'm walking around and I start noticing that there's all these street vendors on the bridges and on the sidewalks, and they're coming out with their blankets and they're selling carnations, red carnations and white carnations. And I didn't understand what that was about. And I finally managed to ask somebody, because remember, I don't speak Korean. I understand enough to eavesdrop, but I didn't know how to say, like, what's with the flowers. So I finally found somebody that spoke English, and I said, what's with the flowers? And they said, it's for Mother's Day. I thought, oh, interesting. They do red and white carnations for Mother's Day. Cool. We do roses, right? Well, we didn't start with roses. Did you know that? I did not know that. It took me a few more years to find that out. I'm obsessed with Asian dramas. And I was watching a Korean drama one day, and they happened to say that Mother's Day was started in America with red carnations. And I was like, what are you talking about? So if we go back to Anna Jarvis's page at womenshistory.si.edu from the Smithsonian, here is basically a Mother's Day postcard from 1916 printed by the Northern Pacific Railway. And if you notice, it has white carnations. Also, remember how I said Anna didn't show up at that first Mother's Day celebration, but she sent 500 white carnations. Why white carnations? Because it was her mother's favorite. The idea that Anna Jarvis had for Mother's Day was that she wanted people to write their mother's notes. Here it is in this women's history on the Smithsonian. Anna, who never married or had children of her own, did not focus the holiday on peace activism, but on the idea of honoring one's own mother. She chose white carnations, because it was her mother's favorite, as an emblem and urged people to write heartfelt letters of gratitude to their mothers. In Anna Jarvis's eyes, sending a pre-printed card didn't count. Anna succeeded in her quest for official recognition, and President Wilson issued a proclamation of the first National Mother's Day, just before the start of World War I in 1914. So, the idea that Anna had for Mother's Day was not actually to give mothers flowers, it was to wear a white carnation in honor of your mother. But this idea changed instead because her mother had passed away. It was her mother's favorite flower. So instead, people would wear a white carnation in honor of their mother if their mother had passed away. And then it became decided that if your mother was still living, you would wear a red carnation to honor your mother. I don't think Anna Jarvis considered that a large part of the population was probably illiterate still, even in 1908, 1911, 1914. While America does have a large educated population, there are still plenty of places in this country where reading and writing was not really taught, especially to women. It kind of makes sense that these cards would start to develop. And what Anna was mad about was that Hallmark eventually stepped in and they started making Mother's Day cards. And somewhere along the lines, some corporation stepped in and they switched it from carnations to roses. They could charge more money for roses. And roses has since become one of those things in America that is like the symbol of wealth and love in this country. Red roses for romantic love. And yet I think we still give red roses or pink roses or whatever color roses to women in general versus carnations. Me personally, I prefer carnations. I don't like the way roses smell when they dry up. It kind of turns my stomach. I like carnations because I feel like they last longer. But yeah, that is the true start of Mother's Day. That you were supposed to wear a white carnation in honor of your mother if she had passed, and a red carnation in honor of your mother if she was still alive. So I just thought I would start that as a reminder for you guys. America was already great, and sometimes we just forget how great that can be. Sometimes we forget the true meaning of stuff in this country. And hopefully you won't forget it again. Okay, guys, it's that time. Grab your remote. I actually want to show you a really cool comedic mom duo that are absolutely fantastic. And they got their start, as far as I know, on YouTube. And I really don't know why they don't have more subscribers than this. They only have 96,000 subscribers. That they have been doing this channel for 9 years. And they're absolutely hysterical. From the very first video, they thought they were going to do like this mom advice kind of channel. And the two of them got on, and one is Jen and Kristen. Jen forgot her child's name in the introduction, and Kristen started laughing. And from then on, they just decided they would be funny with it. So we're just a couple moms getting it wrong, but laughing our way through it. We'll talk about all of it, the good, the bad, the brags, the embarrassing. No judgment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and link to one of their videos. I think they're absolutely hysterical. A little bit about them. They're both from Nebraska. And according to their book, if I remember right, they met in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven in Los Angeles. They were both sitting on the curb drinking, talking about how wonderful Nebraska was, and they heard each other and were like, "You're from Nebraska? I'm from Nebraska." And then the next thing you know, it was history. And they compared notes and found out that they'd been living close to each other pretty much all their lives. They knew a lot of the same people. They had just never met each other. And it was an instant bond. And as you can see from their banner here, they're two moms, not married to each other, but they are both married. They have 4 kids between the two of them, 2 husbands, 6 dogs, minimally 2 glasses of wine, and lots of laughs. And they're really, really funny. They're so funny, in fact, that Amazon actually came to them and offered them a special called I Mom So Hard Live. And this video is hysterical. Like, so funny. It was done in 2019. So they did this special before COVID. And again, I don't know why their channel isn't farther along with how funny they are. If you have Amazon Prime, you can go watch this. I highly recommend it. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find the whole special on YouTube, but they do have bits of it. What I want to link to today is actually from Laugh Society instead of from their channel, and it's called Mom Bags. And it's just a really funny little skit. They only give you 4 minutes of it. I really wish they would give more. If you want to see the ups and downs of motherhood, I highly recommend this channel. I'll put a link to the Amazon Prime special in the link below. So if you want to go watch it, I think you have to like rent it now or something, unless you want to watch it with commercials. If you get a chance, check it out. It's going to make you laugh so hard on Mother's Day. They do cuss a bit. They do talk about sex. So if that bothers you, you might not want to watch it. But other than that, I feel like it's really fun, wholesome videos. I mean, how many female comedians do you see nowadays that aren't just joking about being sluts? Am I right? But anyway, happy Mother's Day again to you guys all. The question for this video, I know I haven't announced the giveaway winners for the last one. I'm setting that up for the next video, which I hope to have out by Tuesday. I'm just wrapping that video up. The question for this video, if you want to win a prize, is just tell me the best gift you ever got as a mother, or that you ever gave to a mother, whether it was your own or someone else's, or just something that if you were going to be a mother, what would be the best gift for you? And the reason I'm not doing the little pop-up question in this is because I just want to tell you the best Mother's Day gift that I feel like I ever got is going to sound totally terrible, but it was basically back, I think around 2009, 2010. I had just like had my youngest. They were about 2 or 3 years old, and then my oldest was like 6 or 7. And I was exhausted as a mother, just exhausted from doing everything. And my husband took both the kids and went to his dad's all day long. And I had the house all to myself all day. I laid in bed in my underwear all day watching TV. I think I ordered a pizza because we didn't have Uber Eats back then. And it was just one complete full day of sleeping and bliss. And that was like the best Mother's Day that you could have given me at the time. I will also pin this question below. If you answer the pin comment between Mother's Day and Tuesday, then you can win either a $100 Amazon gift card. Might as well up it a bit for Mother's Day, right? Or you can win a $75 PayPal Zelle payment. And the reason I always do more on the Amazon is because I want you guys to really treat yourself versus paying bills, which is what I know you're going to do. And before I forget, everybody, happy Mother's Day. If you like these America Was Already Great episodes and are looking forward to seeing more, especially me expanding into other countries, make sure you hit that like button so that I know. The more likes I know, it kind of lets me know what type of videos to make. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be entered into future giveaways. Usually you have about 24 hours to answer the pinned comment to win the prizes, just generally cash. So subscribe, notify. See you guys on Tuesday. Ciao!